I want to just tell you congratulations on Inbetween, girl. Um, and our star Emma is here, and you don't have a huge background of stuff yet. And was this an audition process, or did you guys know each other? Because you did really great in this.
Thank you so much. This is my first feature. But the story actually of how May and I met was kind of ridiculous. I don't know. It feels like fate. Essentially, and May add anything that I'm missing. But I auditioned for a short film in Austin with a production company that teaches teens how to make films, and the director of that program sent her my audition tape for his short film while she was casting for a proof of concept video for the movie. And so she saw me, and at the same time, I had seen recently her casting call poster on a Facebook page, actually my high school theater department's Facebook page. So I was literally in the middle of writing her an email saying, "Hi, I'd love to audition," when I got an email from her asking me to audition. So it really does feel like fate.
So tell me a little bit about your character, and I want to do that with William as well as Emily as well, to talk about your characters and why they're important to the story. So I'll start with you, Emma. Tell me a little bit about Angie.
For sure. So Angie is a 16-year-old girl living in Galveston. She's born and raised there. Her dad is Chinese, her mother is white, and she goes to a private Episcopalian high school. She's an artist. She's very passionate about her art, and she is also a bit socially awkward. And that comes up a lot, I think, with the people she interacts with. She doesn't really feel like she fits in. Being mixed Asian in white Episcopalian high school, and she doesn't really feel like she can express herself with a lot of people, but she finds that she can with Liam a lot of the time, and that's how their bond, I think, initially forms. They play soccer together, and that's how they meet. And with her parents, there are so many factors going into this feeling that she can't really talk to them about anything. They're going through a divorce, so she's feeling the effects of that as well. And then her father jumps into a relationship with a Chinese woman, and she meets the Chinese woman's daughter, and it's like, I think something May said once really stuck with me. She feels literally in between this perfect Asian daughter and Liam's girlfriend, Cheryl, played by lovely Emily Garrett, and just feels completely stuck in between these two versions of what the world is telling her she should be. Or those images of those girls is what the world is telling her she needs to be. So she's very conflicted, very not having a good time. And then things start spiraling from there.
William, you play Liam in this. First of all, you are from Texas. Wow. And Texas is one of my favorite places on the planet. Nobody grills meat like a Texan.
Goddamn right.
So tell me a little bit about your character, Liam, and why you took the role.
Yeah, Liam is he's a work in progress for sure. He has this beautiful, massive ego that he's created because he's got a lot of like emotional pain and, trauma from like being a young dude with his mother. He's never met her, doesn't know her. He's got older brothers, so he has this pressure to be a man and to be strong, and boys will be boys and all that good stuff. And he leans into it, and that's how he, takes advantage of Angie and his own girlfriend, and he takes advantage of this environment where it's really okay for a person like him to just manipulate people and use them. And he rationalizes that he's not really doing anything wrong. And so it's this really like hurtful character that is just kind of like on this cycle of pain. And he's in this movie inflicting it on other people. And like coming up with the character was like, when I first auditioned, I was so nervous. So I just leaned into what I normally do when I'm nervous, which is like humor and comedy. And it really ended up working because that's what like Liam's character ends up doing in the movie is he uses this kind of goofy charisma, humor to get behind Angie's defenses and get behind other people's defenses so he can do what he wants.
He's a manipulator.
Absolutely, yeah. And whether he knows it or not, I don't really think he thinks he's manipulating, but he is.
Emily, you play the long-suffering girlfriend, and your character has quite a few layers to her.
Yeah, for sure. She's an onion, Cheryl is. But yeah, I think Cheryl, you know, as Angie says, she's a BOY, born on the island, kind of this influencer type of girl who just got a lot of attention, outside attention for appearance-based things from a very young age, which is obviously very, it changes a lot of things for people growing up, like having a lot of outside of attention and no one really knowing inside, you know, it's the small things that matter. It's the big flashy things that matter. So she felt a lot of pressure to act and be a certain way as well. But at the same time, she didn't really want that, you know, she obviously to a certain extent likes her position as this, or her image, I guess you could say, but she really misses out on some genuine friendships and just people really being in her life for her. And that's kind of what's really hurtful about Liam and Cheryl's relationship, to me at least, what I believe, because she really thinks that he cares about her, like that he cares about her as a person, which is, wow, that's like crazy. But, you know, only time will tell. And, you know, she's just really out there searching and wishing that, you know, people kind of knew her and appreciated her as a person. And I think she's also still figuring that out, because obviously when you have all this outside of attention, I don't think she also has really gotten a chance to really feel out some really important things about just like loving herself and being there for herself and knowing right and wrong and relationships and all that.
Yeah, she seems to see what she wants to see.
For sure. For sure.
I mean, how do you switch from one character to another?
I don't know. I think, you know, whenever I write, you know, I put on a couple hours on a timer and I just go, like, I don't know really what happens. I think a little bit, there's a little of me in every single character in the film, probably. Another huge thing were the actors. Everyone was just so amazing at improvising. So a lot of times in rehearsal or auditions, I would hear a line and I would put it in the script. And then we would, when we were on set, we would do some takes by the script, but then we would do like a fair amount of takes where I was like, you know, do whatever you want in this take, you know, do something crazy. And they kind of went with it. And like, I just have to say the cast was just so giving and brave and, you know, really made those characters who they are.
And I'll ask the cast this, each one of you, and this is like an intervention now. Working with someone like Maya has got to be a joy. I'll start with Emma.
I love May Makino with my whole heart. I'll say it whenever, always, forever. Working with May, I auditioned for May coming up on 3 years ago, and just every step of the way has been incredible. We built Angie's character through conversations over the course of a year and a half, and we got to know each other in that time as well, obviously, because we share a lot of experiences about this. And so we were talking about that, and that's how we formed the character. And we just bonded, and she's an amazing director. I'll say that forever also. And like you were talking about the improv, she just had such this unique way of directing, and telling us, like, you know, encouraging us to do improv in our scenes, and you know, making little tweaks here and there to just make the scene perfect and real in a way that is really unique, I think, for a lot of films. It's just, this film is so real. And I was just thinking this as we were talking a second ago, it really does feel like a parallel universe, you know, version of, I don't know, at least my life, in a lot of ways. And I think that's a testament to May's writing and directing. Absolutely.
William?
You know, I completely agree. I think my favorite thing about May's directing was that she knew when she wanted something that she would keep it. And then she was also flexible so that if she saw something that, oh, wait, this works a little bit better, then she would be totally open and going in a little bit of a different direction. While understanding her whole vision. So like if we had one scene where we wanted to do things a little differently, she was able to see how it fit into the context of the greater picture. And I thought that was really, really interesting, because usually when I work with, I've worked with a bunch of like usually student directors, because I myself was a student, and it's kind of like this madhouse of just throwing ideas out there and seeing what sticks and kind of craziness. But May was very, very focused, but also nimble. And I thought that was really, really awesome.
Emily?
Yeah, for 100% agree with William, first of all. And then also for me, also my first feature film, and I just done like, smaller stuff in school stuff throughout when I was younger. And so I was really nervous. And when I immediately came in, she knew exactly what she wanted with her vision and her story, but she was not intimidating. She was authoritative, but also made me feel very comfortable. So I knew that, this is a really cool woman who's in charge of this, who knows what she wants, but who also I really feel like I can talk to and get comfortable with, and really just be around, which I think is really important, especially, if you're working with actors. You want everyone to be comfortable, because that's the only way you'll be able to do really quality work, I think. And yeah, she's just so warm, and her hugs are the best, and we love May.
There is a moment in an actor's life where you're working with a director who has lost control, and when you're working off script and things like that, and you're experimenting, it's real easy for someone to lose the reins, May. So I know from all of this, you're not a dictator, but it's nice to know that you're in charge and you have that kind of expression in your directing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think, it was very loose, but I think, I had an idea of what I want, but I also think everyone was also on the same page, and a lot of that is just like, we picked really, really good people and really, really smart people, and not only just with the cast, but, the crew, like everyone was just making such smart decisions and asking the right questions. I think one thing I really, really love, and Emma, this is something you did like a great job on whenever we were like developing characters, is like Emma would come to me with questions. She was like, like, this is an example, but like, when did Angie get her period? And like, we would have a conversation about like when Angie got her period, you know what I mean? And I feel like everyone on the team was always just pushing it and trying to figure out how we could even, make this film more dimensional and more real.
Well, before we end our conversation, which, by the way, thank you guys all. It's really great to have the entire cast and the director here, and it just feels good. I have to ask you, because I know small budget films. I know, the things that you go through. I'm going to just ask you what the catering was like. Did everybody just kind of potluck it and all? I see Emma is laughing.
So we had a lot of donations from different places in Austin. My parents cooked my mother cooked all of the days in Galveston. One of our producers' relatives cooked a couple days. The producers cooked a couple days. Our producer's father, Mr. Pickens, cooked a couple of days. But it was really just, friends and family helping us out.
Oh, that makes it a labor of love.
It really is.
When you look at it. And Austin's got some great food. I'll tell you, it's just an amazing place. Thank you all for being part of our day. And I really, really want to see this film, after the festivals and all that just hit. You need a distributor for this. It is just a fun and yet heartbreaking film at times.
Yeah. It's really awesome to hear you say that, because I think it's something that we've been sitting on for a long time. So being able to hear you say that, you got the lighter moments, but you were also heartbroken. Like, that's just, as a content creator, that is just music to my ear. So thank you so much.
I have daughters, so,
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.